I tried to enforce boundaries with my in-laws, and it turned into a legal issue.
1099. These guys are trying to set boundaries with me. Can we get someone over here right away?
Arrest him now. I'm going to have my first baby in a few months. Congrats. And mother-in-law has a history of being crappy towards me and all my hubby's previous relationships, and also his brother's past girlfriends. She gets jealous. I want to set clear boundaries before the baby comes with her. By the way, this comes from Big Branch 8521, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So first, a bit of background for our relationship. Before we were married, my mother-in-law would try to tell him to break up with me because she has gray hairs in her 20s, so clearly there's something wrong with her health and she's unfit to bear children. So the answer is no, it's genetic. My dad's side went gray early. Also, she has yellowing to her teeth. She's clearly unhealthy and unfit to bear children. Answer no, I had to take an iron supplement as a kid, but couldn't swallow pills, so it was liquid and discolored my teeth a bit. I don't think it's that bad and haven't really gone for whitening advice, but my dentist once mentioned it. She wouldn't suggest it in my personal case. My mom, who happens to be my best friend and I adore, has been battling cancer, and every time my mother-in-law sees me, she starts off the convo with telling me about someone she knows recently that passed away of cancer.
Hey, shut up. Shut up. Hey.
She's always trying to push my buttons and get under my skin. She went to my workplace to see my colleague and introduced herself to her admin, who wasn't aware of our relationship, as my mother-in-law. My admin told her that everyone at work loves me and that I'm so awesome, etc., as they should. Instead of having a normal response like, we love her too, my mother-in-law went, we're actually here to see someone else.
Great.
Okay.
We love that for you.
Which my admin told me about because that's so weird. When we were getting married and wanted just a small wedding, said no to mother-in-law inviting her second cousin multiple times, but she went ahead and printed out our evite and handed it to said second cousin, who we barely know and who didn't even talk to us at the wedding and just ate the food. Anyways, hubby has had conversations with her, but she always thinks she's right and everyone else is wrong, so hubby has given up on trying to reason with her, but also still wants both his parents in his life because they come as a package deal, and his dad is decent except for the part where the mom is the boss of the family, except for the part where he lets the mom step all over you and doesn't defend you like a good human should.
The dad is decent except for when he's not decent.
Which is all the time.
Yeah. Now fast forward to me being pregnant. She gropes my belly and talks to my belly rather than me as a person when she first sees me, while not letting me be a part of the conversation with adults.
Yeah, I'm literally slapping the hand away next time. No,
Ooh,
don't touch me.
That'd be great.
Do not touch me.
Last time was meeting with a new neighbor. The vibe is very, you're just an incubator for my baby.
Yep, 3D printer.
Yep. Despite her having been pregnant 4 times and her daughters each having been pregnant 3 times. So I'd like to set clear boundaries. That was the background. That was just the context, ladies and gentlemen. We are barely a third of the way through this story.
Oh.
So my idea, I'm in a WhatsApp chat with my hubby's immediate family, so I'm thinking of just having witnesses to my boundaries and saying as follows. Hi, everyone. Our first baby is coming very shortly, but we just wanted to communicate some needs to you all. From what we've seen with friends, postpartum can be very challenging, and we would appreciate it if you respect some rules to make this work well. Please no surprise visits. I might need some time and space. Please respect that we will let you know when we're ready. Please take no photos without explicit consent. When I need to front airbag feed, please give me distance. I don't want an audience. No inappropriate comments towards or about any of us. Actions will have consequences.
Okay.
That way, there should be witnesses, right? What do you guys think of this? And we have some comments. But you know what? Let's take a pit stop right here. Sophia and Dakota, what do we do with mother-in-law? Starting with Sophia. What do you think?
I think that you have your partner talk to their mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your thing.
Yeah, how can a 3D printer win an argument with a human being? It can't.
I concur with both of these statements. Oh, we've got some relevant comments here. So, comment number 1, first of all, these are not boundaries. They are rules you are making for other people, which is fine. It's your baby, but understand that this is what is happening. I find people receive rules like this much better if they are framed as what to do rather than what's not allowed, and the actions have consequences is vague and threatening. Just state what the actual boundary is. It's what you will do if the rules are broken. We will only be welcoming visitors when it is planned, at least a couple of days in advance. Surprise drop-ins will be ignored. Our consent must be given for taking or sharing any photos, whether directly or on social media. Violating that consent means a lengthy timeout from seeing the baby. I am private about my front airbag feeding and will take space as needed. Any lack of respect from this will end a visit. We need support and positivity in what will be an exhausting and exciting time. Unsolicited advice, criticism, or comparisons will end the visit. The way you ensure your rules are respected is to follow through calmly and consistently. Don't state a consequence you are not willing to enact because it falls apart. Then there is an update. Note, I deleted my post last night because mother-in-law and daughter-in-law were intimidating. The evidence gathered that it was illegal. And dear husband said to delete the post on Reddit while we figure out our rights / legalities in case they find the post and use it against us.
Guys, we're all going to jail.
We
Oh my God. We're all going to jail? Everything we've been doing has been illegal this whole time? You're not allowed to talk about other people?
We should call this illegal the podcast because it is illegal and a podcast.
Oh my God, don't go to Spotify. Don't go to iHeartRadio.
Don't do it.
Delete all of your phones.
Throw
them in the ocean. No, don't do that because this is insane. These people literally think it's illegal to talk bad about them.
Oh,
Dude, what are you
God.
talking about?
Honestly,
Oh my God.
honestly, I'm praying that in this story they call the police and they say, hey, you won't believe this. My daughter-in-law wrote a Reddit story about me. Arrest her right now and have her laughed out of the station. That is what I want to happen. Please give it to me.
Arrest
Please
him
give it to me.
right now.
Bro. So, from my search since then, there is a bit of a gray area around camera use where I live, but it seems largely that I am in my right to have motion sensor security cameras in my home as long as there's no audio / conversations recorded, so and it's not in the bathroom, etc.
I don't think those. So there's a rule where if you're a place of business, your security cameras can't record audio indoors. That doesn't apply to your house, dude. This is your house. Do you live here? Like, what are we talking about?
Not allowed. It's illegal. It's all illegal. But I went through all of the comments with my husband last night, and he went over to his parents' house to list the behaviors with evidence and inform them of their boundaries and group rules. Good. Now an update on what happened last night. So I showed dear husband the comments on Reddit. A lot of really helpful ones. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Together, dear husband and I started writing a list of instances when her behavior and treatment of me had been awful in the past. Together, we wrote out a list of boundaries / rules in his notes app and tried to make them very clear with time frames for reassessment if appropriate. Dear husband then drove over to his parents' house to calmly and coldly make the statements to them / her. He began with the recent bad behavior incident, mother-in-law snooping through closet, wardrobes, footage of her coming out of the bathroom with dear husband's toothbrush in her mouth. At first, she lied and said that she did no such things. Then, dear husband mentioned that we saw her do it in the cameras. She absolutely exploded at him, yelling, dropping F-bombs, then tried to make excuses that she was looking for the sheets in our wardrobes and that she had actually brought her own toothbrush with her and it was hers that she used.
Of course, she has matching toothbrushes with her son. What good mother doesn't?
Yep. Cameras aren't high resolution enough to capture a toothbrush in her pocket, and I obviously wouldn't put a camera in the bathroom, so I actually can't confirm or disprove whether it was, in fact, her own toothbrush in her pocket. She lied / denied to begin with in the first place, though. Anyways, that doesn't excuse anything else on the long list of maltreatment of me. Father-in-law kind of backed her up. What you're doing is illegal.
Like, in what universe is recording in your own home illegal? This is insane.
And then admitted that they recently went through this with their tenants. Mother-in-law and father-in-law have tenants at their house that they own. Generational wealth. Must be nice. Apparently, she was recently caught on tenants' cameras snooping through their personal belongings, closets, and fridges.
Why?
Why do you do this? Anyways,
What
the
is
whole the whole thing took about 15 minutes. A dear husband was basically punted out of his parents' house without getting a chance to mention anything other than this recent incident, and was chased out by yelling and F-bombs. His parents said they're never coming over again or doing any favors for dear husband, which I guess is still a win.
It sounds like it. I haven't heard a single favor they've done for y'all this whole time.
Don't you know the favor of letting me ransack your closets and your toiletries?
The favor of accusing you of a crime and threatening to send you to jail.
That's my favorite favor. That's my favorite one, Dakota. I love it when you accuse me of illegal things I never did and then, to throw me in jail. It's my favorite.
Yes, police. A pregnant woman recorded me in her own home. Send her to jail. Thank you.
Do it. Please let them call the cops, I hope. But the other thing that I don't need to hope for, because I literally know it's an exact fact, is that you can go to Spotify, Apple, or iHeart and search OK Storytime and listen to all 2,500 of our episodes. In fact, if you're listening there right now, why are you not rating it 5 stars even? Or commenting?
That's true.
You want to say hi.
That's illegal.
Say that now that is an actual 1,000% factually
They'll send you to
illegal.
jail for that.
They will send you to maximum security prison for not giving us 5 stars on Spotify. That is what is written
100%.
into the law.
It's in the legal codex.
It's in the books, okay? Let's dive into the last part of the story here. So, mother-in-law texted me last night, is this how you treat family? Copy that message and send it right back to her. Look in the mirror and ask yourself that. Obviously, I'm not responding. Daughter-in-law texted dear husband this morning demanding that dear husband have all the evidence deleted. Dear husband said this was further proof she can't babysit ever. Another good stance. This is not the kind of behavior our child deserves to be exposed to if we can help it. I'm waiting on a text back from a lawyer friend re the legality of the cameras. Edit, also, in addition, at this point where I'm at, I should be relieved that dear husband stood up for me and for us as a family and that he is on board with going low contact, but I'm bracing myself and scared with what mother-in-law might try to do next. Will she try to hurt me professionally at my work? Will she burn the place down? Someone so hateful and explosive, I don't know what she might do, and I'm still scared.
That's a kind of ominous way to leave it. But, honestly, sometimes, people are capable of crazy stuff, but she sounds like someone who's just mostly a yapper. And
Yep.
she's, she's a little, no, she does do that weird sly stuff. She's snooper. She's a snooper and a yapper. Ooh, which maybe that is the combo that can create like an arsonist.
Yeah, it's a scary thing because you don't know what's going to happen, but your husband actually stood up for you and your family. Bingo, huge.
That's huge.
2, once again, we've I mentioned this in the last story. When you start to fully express, like, hey, these things are not, just say the truth, like, oh, these things are not okay to people who are doing such terrible things to you. And then they're like, oh, well, oh my gosh, you're the worst. And oh my gosh, I'm going to go no contact. Da, 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 da. Well, great. That is, the cards are now falling as they are supposed to. Because someone who is doing terrible things is actually being told they're doing terrible things. And there you go. They will sort themselves in your life accordingly.
Yeah.
And you can go low contact, like you said, protect your peace, protect your baby, protect your husband and your little family. And that is it. I gave my mother-in-law multiple chances, but I finally reached my breaking point.
I just can't take it anymore.
Can't do it. My mother-in-law has been an absolute nightmare since the moment I became part of this family years ago. I met, engaged, married, and fallen pregnant by my husband extremely fast.
Woo!
It felt extremely fast,
Yeah.
the way that was written. When we first called to announce the marriage, she turned her nose up and sent a message to my husband shortly after our call to let him know that she was having a hard time letting go, but she will respect his decision. By the way, this comes from Specific Noise 3799, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So through our unfortunate miscarriage, we were able to fall pregnant again extremely quickly,
Wow.
much to our surprise a few months later.
Wow.
This time around, I was met with constant belittlement and criticism from mother-in-law about how we weren't ready and how I have no idea what I'm in for. My husband is extremely close with his father, and so phone calls meant for the two of them where mother-in-law butt in and gave her 2 cents directed at me were often. One time, I had overheard her saying something extremely negative about me to my husband while they were on the phone. She was on speaker, and I very quickly started to grow resentment for this woman, as would anyone.
Yeah.
I took extra precautions to make sure I was reaching out to her, that I was recognizing my own feelings with my own mother, for which I had to have intense therapy to overcome, and to avoid projecting that onto dear husband's relationship with his mom. Hey, that's kudos to you for being very, very thoughtful in your approach there. We even went to couples therapy for this because he kept insisting that she never means it in that way. She doesn't mean it that way. I don't care.
Then why do you say it in that way?
Exactly.
What's going on?
Anyways, after a few visits to their home cross country and meeting some of the extended family, I was getting a clearer picture with each interaction. This lady was a full-blown, self-absorbed person. I tried to mention this to my husband time and time again, but he was so deep in the trenches of her manipulation. Finally, once our first child was born, mother-in-law sent a pretty damning text message to my husband about the birth of our child that allowed dear husband to start seeing through the veil. That child is special because she comes from you and me. Gee, hey, Mom, last time I checked, you and I didn't make this baby.
Yeah.
Gross.
What? What's that about?
Last time I checked, it was my wife who's me and the baby, not you, my mother, and me. No. My husband literally paused my shower to show me the text. And though while I prioritized validating his emotions of disgust and frustration, I couldn't help but to notice my own feelings of vindication. Yes. So since that moment a year ago, he's been able to slowly come to terms with the idea that maybe she really is the person his family has been telling him she is. But the final nail in the coffin was our holiday visit that just recently occurred. For this saga, I'm going to make it very brief because if I go into detail, I'm going to exhaust you all from the read this has become already. Christmas morning, my mother-in-law stormed out during gift giving because father-in-law failed to prepare a specific toy to be used immediately from opening. Again, just to remind everyone, my daughter is 11 months old. She is not capable of long-term memory. After sucking the air and the joy out of the room, she decided to hide away upstairs after verbally tearing into father-in-law in front of my daughter, sister-in-law, and husband. Father-in-law and mother-in-law began to argue and escalate in their room, which was situated right next to dear husband and I's room, making it impossible to put the little one down for her nap. So we had to evacuate the house for hours on Christmas Day to get away from the mess at home with sister-in-law in tow. Great. First Christmas as a mother and as a family torpedoed by mother-in-law. Cue to a few days later where mother-in-law had a huge party planned for extended family and partners, neighbors included. About 2 hours into the event, I made the mistake of encountering mother-in-law sobbing, absolutely blackout wasted on the couch in the living room upstairs.
Well,
oh my. I already have my feelings on this woman, but I decide to sit next to her and hear her out to comfort her. She goes over her failing marriage and mentions feelings of betrayal and wanting out. Great. Now I'm stuck here next to her. Well, this is enough of a pattern to where as I'm comforting her and people are cycling in and out of the kitchen, they're all throwing me looks of remorse as they grab what they need and return downstairs.
oh wow.
Remorse for me! Not for the mom. Finally, one of the more seasoned family members steps in and relieves me of my duties. I go back to the downstairs area where I met with a circle of people who want to know what's going on. I debrief and everyone is now on the same page of what's happening. About an hour later, crap hits the fan. So mind you, my child has been tucked away upstairs, sleeping soundly in her crib for a while now. My mother-in-law returns to her room, which again is right next to dear husband and the baby, and I have been sharing for the stay. And she starts throwing things at the wall.
Whoa.
And screaming, shaking the entire house.
With the baby in the room.
With the baby next door.
Oh, next door.
The whole house is
my
shaking.
Gosh.
So I flew into the home as I was outside talking with dear husband about going no contact. Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
There she goes again. And I ran right into the room my daughter was sleeping in to protect her. When re-entering, I had to pass the whole party of family playing a game, and everyone stopped in their tracks. Everything fell apart at this moment.
Oh no.
My mother-in-law proceeded to scream, "Ah!" and argue with everyone in the house. I hate you. My husband had to restrain her. And as he did, my mother-in-law attacked him.
What?
My sister-in-law fled to dear husband's side, and mother-in-law did the same to her as well. Then it became less of an effort for de-escalation and became a family-wide effort for evacuation.
Oh my gosh. This is crazy. This is full on. Godzilla is breaking through the roof, stomping, breaking things. She whips her tail around and is knocking people over left and right. Oh my gosh. That is terrible.
So at this point, I'm kind of like, this seems like a severe mental health crisis issue situation.
For sure. I mean, everyone's safety is up in the air right now around this woman.
Yeah. So I'm 8 months pregnant with
Ooh,
OP's. I didn't even
I
realize.
forgot she was pregnant.
Dude.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. With an 11-month-old. So there were about 5 different family members individually making sure I was safely escorted out to the nearest hotel for the remainder of our stay before our flight back home.
Oh.
Whew. My husband is an active service member, and he had to reach out to command because at the time of hotel arrival, we were planning on catching the next flight out, so he would have had to let them know about his premature return. He obviously had to take creative liberties as to the reasoning of his return, because if he were to tell the truth, his mother would have had to been charged.
Whoa.
Which, straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Oh man.
Mama go crazy, straight to jail. So we ended up making the call to stay put at the hotel until our flight a few days later. Our choice based upon not wanting to further disrupt our baby's rhythm and sense of safety and security. During this time, my mother-in-law sent a text message to the family group chat that was 3 sentences long. I'm sorry, I effed up. I have no excuses.
Well.
Okay, I mean, yes. So, and for some reason, reading that message enraged me. You attacked my husband. You ruined my first Christmas as a mother, and you have no excuses? During our flight home, I told my husband there is no room for her in our lives anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told him that being put through that, the fear of domestic violence happening with my child in the next room, the terror of fleeing in the middle of the night, I cannot put our daughter through that ever again. He finally came to agree. Finally.
Woohoo!
Finally. I will never speak to that woman ever again. I am so sad for my husband, but I'm so glad we're finally at this point, for the justification for it is there, and everyone, including dear husband, finally sees it. We have an update.
Oh boy.
But
Yeah.
thoughts?
Well, I'm glad that the husband has finally come around. Because obviously, I mean, we've read so many stories where it's like the in-laws have all of these problems, and the husband or wife, like, who are actually related to those people, can't see them quite yet because they're blinded by, the love of their parents, which makes sense. There has to be a breaking point, and it seems like we've reached it, which is good.
Yep.
It's bittersweet, I'll say. It's not good that we are at a breaking point
Yes.
and that she's doing these things, but it's good that he's seeing it and that he knows that people's safety is involved. The safety of his child,
Yes.
his wife, and his whole family. Everyone had to evacuate like it was a tornado coming.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Yeah, man.
Update.
Woo!
Currently, 39 weeks plus 6 days. Labor starting and stopping for the past week, and I'm so over it at this point. That baby
Dang.
is ready to burst.
Woo.
So I got into my appointment today and was told to expect a call from the coordinator. Coordinator called as I was wolfing down some lunch, and of course, without thinking, I agreed to the first available induction slot. I then asked if it's the absolute soonest we could go in and get everything taken care of, and the coordinator said that yes, that's the soonest available. Hung up the phone and went about my business until I look at the calendar and see that the induction date is actually the date of my mother-in-law's birthday.
Oh no.
This lady is insane, and I cannot imagine having to live the rest of her life hearing how much her and little one are just that much closer because they're birthday twins. If that even ever happens, pray for me. Edit. Everyone suggesting to reschedule. Yes, I will, but my OB's office does in fact come to a close and has been closed since well before I realized the date/issue described here. Also, to remind everyone very gently, I don't want the advice to reschedule as per the flare, which asks for no advice, just solidarity.
Ah.
Update number 2. So over the past few months, I've been extremely supportive of my husband's emotional journey. This woman has a history, his mom, of these violent outbursts during family get-togethers. I genuinely cannot stand her, but through it all, my husband maintained very low contact. That's just fine with me. Not my monkey, not my circus. Very recently on Mother's Day, she reached out to my sister-in-law and husband in a private chat to extend an apology and a wish for reconciliation. My husband explained to her that it was a very pointed decision to exclude me from that message, seeing as how I was just as deserving of an apology. He told her there's no reconciliation with just him, and that since we are a married couple and due to everything she put me through, she needs to reach out to me. A week passed with no response. I'm not going to lie, I was fuming. So I sent her a message of my own telling her exactly what I felt. And this is the message below. Mother-in-law, I am writing this because continuing to ignore the weight of your actions is no longer an option. After everything that happened over Christmas, your outburst, your hostility, I expected at least a sincere and direct apology. Not just to your son and sister-in-law, but to me as well, considering I was also there. Many opportunities to reach out have come and gone. Birthdays, the delivery of your grandson, and especially after husband suggested you should reach out to me directly. You should have maybe reached out to me directly. That was just me talking. You made a pointed choice to ignore that entirely. That silence speaks volumes, and I want you to know I heard it loud and clear. Your pattern of behavior has deeply affected our family. I do not forgive the way you treated me, and until there's a true, unprompted reckoning on your part, not a performance, not a deflection, and not a half apology, I won't be participating in any illusion of reconciliation. This is not about punishment. This is about protecting my peace and my family. I hope one day you can reflect honestly and do better, but I won't sacrifice our well-being waiting for that to happen. And oh boy, did she respond. But first,
Oh boy.
slow clap. That was great. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. That was really good.
So, to honor my husband's wishes, I will not post exactly what she said to me, but to give everyone an idea, here's some of her points. I don't need an apology because I am not a victim.
Okay.
I should be grateful for the fact that she gave birth to my husband because due to her parenting, he turned out to be the man he is today. She didn't feel it necessary to respond with an apology because I disliked how she reacted to her incredibly lazy apology in the family group chat. I don't care about my family because if I did, I would allow her access to my children. Clearly hate your family. I am a deeply inconsiderate person because I didn't ask her permission to marry her son. How dare you?
That's the traditional way. The wife has to ask the mother-in-law if she can be proposed to.
I'm a deeply inconsiderate person because my husband chose to notify the entire family in a single group chat about the birth of our firstborn child instead of letting her know first. Oh my goodness. I'm punishing her, and that the punishment doesn't fit the crime. I'm the reason that my husband stays with me in a bedroom and away from them when we go for a visit. I front airbag fed in privacy for the time she's referring to, and my husband likes to hang out with me. Sue me. I'm a poor mother for sleeping in on the days when they came to visit when I was 5 weeks postpartum, especially abandoning my child under their care. Woe is me. I am the reason her son doesn't send photos of her grandchild to her. Oh my God. Since she is my mother-in-law, I need to display respect and refrain from sending another threatening message to her. By the way, you know what's one message I always respect, Angie?
What is that, John?
The one that says you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. That's on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast. You just search OK Storytime.
Yep.
But, ladies and gentlemen, let's conclude the story here. So, my response to that whole thing, was very short. I told her that it's clear to me that there's no opportunity for reconciliation at this time, encouraged her to continue to look outside of her own perspective,
You got it?
yawned in her face, and that I am still owed a sincere apology. Give me.
Yep.
It grinds my gears having to be the bigger person, I hate that phrase, it's so condescending, to someone nearly twice my senior. I've decided I'm no longer going to react. My father-in-law scheduled a call with my husband to have a discussion, and I just know it's about what I had said to my mother-in-law. Father-in-law has spoken about 10 words to my husband since this all went down on Christmas. And now, only an hour after I sent my message, does he want to call up my husband Ugh. Advice wanted.
Oh wow.
Um,
So stuff's about to go down. And we're not even gonna be able to see it.
we're just gonna be completely in the dark.
Wow.
But OP did say advice wanted at the end.
Yeah.
Quick closing thoughts here on that.
Oh man. I mean, the husband is gonna get a call an hour later than all of this. Than her text was sent.
Yeah,
I mean, the husband I think needs the most advice here. But
true.
dude, I don't
I
know.
can stay the course of just low
Yeah.
contact. You just be like,
Low contact.
hey dad, yeah, so you're just calling us to defend mom, and mom has done all these horrible things, so we're just
Yeah.
not down with that.
Yeah, you know what?
So
Honestly, like, I think he just needs to be honest. He's just like, okay, listen, you're my parents. I don't want you to have, no access to your grandchildren.
mm-hmm.
However, if you were going to act this way, if she's going to act this way, and you were going to support her, that can't happen, It's not that I don't want you around. It's that you can't be around if you're doing this stuff. So it's your choice on whether you want to continue doing this and continue supporting this if you want to be around my children. It's out of my hands. It's purely for my family's safety. And it's not like a selfish choice that I'm making. This is purely like survival pretty much. So it's on them. It's on them.
It's not that I don't want you around, that I can't have you around.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Boom.
Angie.
I'm freaking wise. What
There
can I
you go.
say? My mother-in-law claims to be a loving grandmother, but refuses to make any efforts.
Make effort.
My husband and I had our baby 4 months ago, and she was born 2 months early, so she's only been home for a little over 2 months. I have a whole horde of medical issues because I went through 2.5 years of chemo for leukemia, but was able to get pregnant a year after my last chemo. Wow, that seems impressive. That doesn't happen
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yes.
But I got preeclampsia, which landed me in the hospital for a week before delivery and progressed to HELLP. This kept me in the hospital for a week after delivery. By the way, this comes from the Primeval Pixie Dust. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So my mom flew in 6 hours before I delivered, and I'm so happy she did because she took care of me with my husband through my and she's so dialed into my needs that she knows what I need before I even know what I need. During my time in the hospital, my in-laws were all up in my grill and space, and they were especially so after I gave birth. And I mean my mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law. And the whole family involved.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. I have no issues with my brother-in-law or sister-in-law because they took care of me a lot during chemo, and they are like my mom in that they always seem to know what I need before even I do. My sister-in-law is top tier when it comes to bringing over snacks and beverages. I seriously don't know how she always knows what kind of food I like, but she just does. That's a good friend right
We
there.
like that. We like that. That's a good thing.
My brother-in-law is a doctor and helped so much during my treatment and during my labor too. He always brings food whenever he comes over, and he's always wanting to hang out and help with baby and do chores around the house. Now, my mother-in-law and father-in-law are nice people, but it's a fake nice. Like, they are nice people, but they never go out of their way to help anyone. It seriously ticks off my husband because they've dropped the ball for him and me so many times that he doesn't trust them to come through for anything anymore. During the pregnancy, mother-in-law referred to our daughter as our baby, as in hers too, and my husband immediately called her out and said, no, she's OP and my baby, and your grandbaby. I know she's excited to be a grandma, but we had to set some boundaries before she started referring to herself as mom to our daughter, which was somewhat starting to show. Now, back to the hospital, my husband told them multiple times that they needed to text before just showing up to my room, and a few times my mother-in-law and father-in-law showed up as I was pumping, or right before I was about to shower, or right as I was getting examined to deliver. Worst timing. Wow. He finally said that he would remove them from the approved visitor list if they didn't text or call first. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law always called first. Right as I was about to give birth,
Oh, no.
staff and my husband had to punt them out of the room so I didn't have to have them in there.
Oh, my God.
They just know the worst timing for everything. Oh my goodness.
When I'm like this on the delivery table,
Yeah.
I don't want you in there.
It's a sign. Gotta stay out.
Get out.
Gotta stay out, man.
I'm delivering.
Yeah. You don't want to see that. I don't want you to see that.
Nope.
You gotta get out of there.
Yep.
And right after I gave birth, my mother and father-in-law followed the NICU staff to see the baby, and they touched her, which we told them not to do, so we were pissed. Now, during baby's time in hospital, they were willing to drive 30 minutes every day to see the baby in NICU, and we told staff that only my husband and I can hold the baby until we're ready for others. My mom stayed with us for almost 3 weeks and helped us so much. Cooking, cleaning, getting stuff for me to make my recovery easier. She would even wake up in the night too to get me water and snacks while I pumped.
Nice.
So after a week of her being there, we agreed that she deserved to be the first non-parent person to hold the baby. We didn't tell mother-in-law because we felt that she didn't really deserve or need to be in the know about it. After another few weeks, we let mother-in-law and father-in-law hold the baby while we were there and made sure to tell the staff and the in-laws that they could only hold the baby if one of us was present. A couple of nurses slipped through the cracks when it came to that info, and mother-in-law got away with holding her when I wasn't there. My mother-in-law would literally call me every morning to tell me how baby was, and a few times let it slip that she got to hold her. Wow, mother-in-law is updating the mom of the baby how her baby is doing. Not what we want to hear.
Nope.
When we set these boundaries already.
That's correct.
Again, rule broken, and we were ticked. Also, she didn't need to give me a play-by-play because I was at the NICU every day as well. This is like, it's not mansplaining anymore. This is mother-in-law splaining. This is a new.
We have to.
New
This must be a
thing.
term.
This has to be.
We have
it.
mansplaining. It's been established. We need mother-in-law splaining.
splaining.
Call it mill splaining.
Mill
Splaining.
splaining. We
There
need
we go.
mill splaining.
Mill splaining. Boom. Coined by me.
Good stuff.
But anyway. Well,
Dakota angry.
on the day that baby girl came home, my husband unfortunately couldn't be there because he had a final exam that day that he could not miss for a class that started long before I got pregnant. I wasn't upset by it. I just wanted baby home. My mom had already returned home by that point because she had to return to her work because she was on a big project. So all of my in-laws said that they would be there with me. Fine. Whatever. At our hospital, they have you stay overnight as inpatient with baby so staff can check on you throughout the night to make sure that everything goes well. I got to stay in the wing where I received chemo, so it was kind of like a full circle where the staff that saved me got to see me be a mom. Oh my gosh. That's so special.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
I freaking love that.
Well, on the morning of discharge, my in-laws are all in the room with me, and I'm fully packed up and ready to go. My mother-in-law rushes into the back seat of my car to make sure that she's sitting next to baby. My sister-in-law is in the front with me. My brother-in-law and father-in-law are in separate cars following behind. We get back to my house, and my mother-in-law keeps trying to take the car seat until I stop her and tell her to cool it until I can introduce baby to the cats. We get inside. Cats are cool and aloof, so I decide that the in-laws can hold the baby while I put stuff away. I spent hours doing chores and tasks around the house, and not once did mother-in-law or father-in-law offer to help. Just fawning over baby, which is good, but only one at a time can hold her, so you can freaking help me. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law helped me organize my milk from the NICU and got me lunch. Also, when I needed to feed her, she just kept telling me that she can just give her the bottle. I repeatedly told her that this is the thing I like doing because I get to bond with the baby. She kept refusing to hand her over until I snapped and told her to give me my freaking baby now. She finally handed her over, but I was ready to punt her out.
Mm-hmm.
They stayed for almost 10 hours that day. Oh my goodness.
That's 9 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds too long.
Yes, that is true. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Now, here's the kicker. Our house is just 25 minutes from the hospital. So their commute from their home to ours is just 55 minutes, 45 on the weekend, which to some might be a lot, but it's really not for us considering that that's my commute to work several days a week. After that day, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law have come to the house multiple days a week to see baby and help around the house. My mother-in-law and father-in-law, nothing. We practically beg and they won't come over. Just excuses, and they can't use work as an excuse because they're tired. Well, after a few weeks, my own grandparents, who are the same age as my in-laws, come for a couple of weeks to help, and they help a bunch. Cooking, cleaning, helping with the baby. I'm Hispanic, so the level of love and care I feel is different. Like, we don't expect the help, but it would be weird if my family didn't help.
Mm.
During the time my grandparents are here, my in-laws' dog gets sick, and they love that dog. It's their baby. So
Everything is their baby.
everything is their baby.
Everything is their baby.
So much so that the way they raise that dog raises eyebrows, especially for my husband, because growing up, they never raised their dogs that way. That dog only goes for walks in a stroller
Yep.
and has never been leash walked and uses the bathroom on puppy pads in the living room, which was awful during my chemo and pregnancy. What is even the point of going on a walk with a dog if they're going to be in a stroller? What good is it? So anyway, to cheer them up, we decide to take baby and grandparents over to their house. We even go to pick up food. We decided to greatly inconvenience our lives and our newborn's life to cheer them up. Fine. Whatever. Visit goes well, but we had to bring so much stuff to make the visit work that we decided afterwards that we won't be doing that again. And my mother-in-law made some weird comments that weirded out my husband and me. Like, oh, father-in-law, we should have another baby. Want to have another baby? What? Ma'am, you're in your 70s. Calm down. Girl, she is way past menopause. She cannot have another baby, at least biologically. My goodness. But she made comments like that the whole time. Now, on to a couple weeks later, and my parents come to visit and help for 3 weeks. Amazing. My parents are incredibly helpful. They help so much with the baby in the house that I start to feel human again instead of like a sleepless zombie. Now we're over 10 weeks since baby has been home, and my mother-in-law and father-in-law have seen the baby twice. Count them. Twice. The day she came home and the day that we brought her over. My family lives an ocean away and has been more involved and helpful than my in-laws, who live 35 miles away. So I decided to text my mother-in-law and brother-in-law privately to tell them that I want to celebrate my husband's first Father's Day at our house. I'll get food and we can hang out. Brother-in-law is in residency and can't swing the visit because of work, which is fair and valid. However, my mother-in-law calls me to give me excuse after excuse of why they can't do it at our house, but tells me that we should bring the baby over to theirs. I tell her, we aren't going to do that because it takes a lot of prep work to bring baby over. Mother-in-law says that we'll have lots of help. Help where? Help who? I'm the one that has to prep and pack up baby and the car. At this point, we're going back and forth because she's not getting it. So I tell her that the baby needs me and I hang up. Husband asks what that was about and I tell him. He looks so heartbroken because his mom won't make any effort to help us or see us. She acts like we live on another continent. She tries to call my husband multiple times, but he ignores her calls because he doesn't want to hear her excuses. So Father's Day comes, and my mother-in-law calls my husband to wish him a happy one. And we find out that they drove an hour to see his grandpa's grave. So they can drive an hour to see your dad's grave, but not your granddaughter? Cool. My husband is livid. His mom says that they're telling grandpa all about the baby.
The tombstone.
What?
Yeah.
That's like
Yep.
cheating on someone and being like, but babe, I was thinking about you the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
I just imagined it was you.
it's like, well, you could have just been with me. You
Yep.
could have just talked about the baby with the dad,
Yep.
with me,
Yep.
and been with your freaking baby.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What are we doing?
Husband says, you could actually come and see the baby. Mother-in-law says, well, give baby a hug for me and know that the hug is from all of us. Husband hangs up and vows to not go out of our way for them ever again. But I will vow to always go out of my way and everyone else. I'm speaking on behalf of everyone. We will always go out of our way to make sure that we have full episodes with more stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. That's all you gotta do. You don't have to drive an hour. We'll do all the work for you. You just tap, tap, tap.
That's
And
right.
we're there.
Here we are.
Beautiful. There is a little bit more to the story.
Oh my.
But how hot is your blood boiling right now?
It is the
The tea is ready.
it's whistling.
Yeah.
Oh.
His
Yeah.
face is red and there's smoke blowing out of his ears.
Yep. Yeah, I've just about had it with these. We have had
Dude,
back to back to back crazy mother-in-laws.
gosh, man.
From stealing toothbrushes of their sons and using them
You.
to saying this is our baby
Gosh.
multiple times. We're done. We're done with the crazy mother-in-laws,
Yeah.
and we are going to move on from their craziness
Yes.
and have a good life. And that's really all I got. We are protecting our peace. That's all I got to
Yeah.
say. That's all I got.
It's disappointing.
Yep.
Obviously, you want them around.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if they can't understand that you have a literal newborn,
Yep.
and that makes it a little difficult
Yeah.
to bring a kid places and to travel, they can't understand that.
I'm not mad.
sucks.
I'm just disappointed.
Yep.
Except I am mad
Except
and I'm
I'm actually,
furious.
yeah. It can be both. Two
Yes.
things can be true at once. But we have another little bit to this story.
Let's
Let's get
do
on
it.
into it. I'm so sad for my husband because his mom always raves about how being a mom was her calling and how much she loved it, and will tell anyone who will listen about how excited she is to be a grandma, but makes zero effort to actually be a grandma. I'm so grateful to my husband because he chooses me and baby every time and always has our back against his parents. I choose to marry you. You are my family, is what he always tells me. And growing up, he spent almost every day with his grandparents. So the way his mom acts boggles his mind. We've tossed around the idea to limit baby content to her. No pictures, no updates, in the hope that it drives her to make an effort to see the baby. But after everything, we doubt that will work. And that is the end of that disappointing story.
Yup.
Wow, man. Wow.